Okay, we've passed that cactus 3 times now. It is the same cactus. We're going in circles. Let me see the map. Dear Tim and Moby, what is an ecosystem? From Georgiana. Well, this desert is an ecosystem. It's made up of living and non-living things that interact with each other. Lots of times, ecosystems are categorized by the amount of rainfall and sunlight they get and the condition of the soil. Deserts don't get much rain, so they have very little water. Plants and animals that live in the desert have to be able to survive without water for long periods. And the sun is intense. Moby would overheat every day if he lived here. Desert soil is delicate and not very good for growing things. Even with the hot and dry conditions, the desert ecosystem has its own community of plants and animals that have adapted. Cacti can store water, kangaroo rats sleep underground where it's cooler, and owls pray at night when the sun goes down. In an ecosystem, communities can be divided into different populations. Populations are made up of just one type of organism. Every organism has its own home that's called a habitat. Yikes. I guess the scorpion's habitat is in the sand. Water? Oh, right. There are water ecosystems too, like ponds, lakes, rivers, and oceans. Ha! Got it! Wait, this is your map? Well, this is a subway map. Yeah, you better start running.
Take a look at your backyard. Depending on where you live, you may be staring into a forest, a desert, a grassland, or a freshwater ecosystem. Ecosystems comprise living organisms in their physical environments. Ecosystems can be quite small, such as a log that serves as a home for a family of ants, or they can be large, such as Yellowstone National Park. All ecosystems, however, are marked by the presence of biotic and abiotic, or living and non-living factors. So, looking again at your backyard, if you live in a temperate climate, you may most likely see some trees, grass, dirt, a few rocks, sunlight, or even rain clouds. There may be some birds in the trees or squirrels. Can you identify the biotic or living factors? Remember that in order to be alive, organisms must have cells, consume energy, be able to regulate their systems or maintain homeostasis, have the ability to grow. They must have the ability to sense their environment and respond to stimuli, and have levels of organization and be able to reproduce. So, how about trees? Are they alive? A tree starts as a tiny seed and grows into a towering giant. Tree cells form together that give them specific structures or levels of organization. Trees have specific cells called chloroplasts that allow them to take in sunlight and convert it into energy using photosynthesis. Trees are capable of reproducing through pollination and spread their seeds. They maintain homeostasis by regulating the amount of water held in their branches and leaves. They allow water to evaporate from their leaves to keep themselves cool. And lastly, trees are capable of responding to their environment. Most plants, including trees, exhibit phototrophism, meaning they turn themselves and grow in the direction of sunlight. So trees also demonstrate all the characteristics of living things. How about rocks? Can a rock reproduce? No, you can break a rock into smaller pieces, but it cannot reproduce on its own. So you can stop there. Once you have determined that an object does not possess any one of the 7 characteristics of living things, you can deem it a non-living or abiotic factor. How about clouds? It would seem like clouds may be living. They move, they change sizes, they have a general structure. However, clouds are non-living or abiotic factor. They need the wind to push them. They are not capable of growing on their own, and their size is dependent on the amount of moisture in the air. And they don't have cells. They are nothing more than a collection of water droplets. So now that you have guidelines of identifying biotic and abiotic factors, let's take a look at some more examples. Other examples of biotic factors include grass, mushrooms, moss, earthworms, bacteria, and the list is very long. Other examples of abiotic factors include wind, water, fire, oxygen, temperature, sunlight. So in summary, the interaction between living and non-living organisms, or biotic and abiotic factors, is what creates a complex and interconnected ecosystem. Living objects need non-living objects to survive. Thanks for watching, and remember, kindness multiplies kindness. Be kind to someone today.
I can't move over. You move over. It's not my fault this bus is so crowded. Dear Tim and Moby, how many people can fit on the Earth? From money. That's something Moby and I are wondering too. But it's not really a question of how many people can physically fit on the Earth. The issue is whether or not the Earth has the resources to support all of us. Not all of the world is as packed as this bus, but like the bus, the Earth has a carrying capacity. What's worrying? A population is the total number of individuals of a particular species in a particular area. Our planet can only support so many populations at once. Our species, Homo sapiens, came on the scene about 500,000 years ago. The human population grew little by little, but then, 200 years ago, everything changed. The population exploded, and the Earth is having trouble keeping up. We're using up natural resources like fossil fuels and producing a whole lot of waste. And human activities like clearing forests have a harsh effect on our animal population. Why did the population explode? Well, around that time there were many improvements in medicine, sanitation, and nutrition. People started living longer, and more babies survived to become adults. These adults had more babies, and so on. Usually for a species, this is a good thing, but as far as resources go in some areas, humans are really starting to push the limit. Well, there are plenty of things we can do to reduce the amount of resources human beings are using. We can reduce our water and electricity consumption, stop overpackaging factory products, and work on alternative energy sources like solar power and wind power. There you go. Recycling is a great way to reduce the amount of resources we use. Although it might be a good idea to drink the soda before you try to recycle the can.